little brother, in which we're doing this documentary for, Douglas Robinson, Your Death Will Not Be in Vain.
He was a heck of a great dude.
And I love Doug. Doug loved me.
Just being around him, he had a good spirit. He was a healing person.
They are there.
Get SROs back.
When you give to the poor,
should not be forced out of their neighborhoods when it goes through a period of transformation.
Because there are too many people who are losing their homes to taxes because they can't pay a $1,000 tax bill.
Hi, I'm Ramsey Lewis, and you're watching the Higher Learning Network.
But there's a long tradition of these types of voices of conscience. So I just immersed myself in the world of St. Sabina and spent time with Father Mike and his peacekeepers and the community there, and tried to learn as much as I could.
We love you on Windy City Live. Yes, we do. Tell us, how did all this happen? How did this come about?
Well, I play me. I play Val Warner in Chirac, which is really cool. So when people see this movie, they are literally seeing Val, and I am a reporter in the movie.
We talk about the violence, but what can we do personally?
I think we got to be engaged, and I think engaged in a number of things. In our block, in our home, in our neighborhood, we got to be engaged. We got to fight the issues. We got to fight a government that is abandoned, you know, whole communities on the south and the west side. We got to fight a governor who's cut out every youth employment program, who's cut out violence prevention programs, who's abandoned our communities and the poor and the vulnerable. And I think we got to reach out to our brothers on the street and love them and respect them and help them, not just demonize them.
My participation is only because of Mr. Spike Lee, our leader, our director, and he reached out to me and blessed me with the opportunity to be in this film and said that his mission was to save lives in the south side of Chicago.
I'll just say like this. First of all, give you the history of coming to Chicago and telling my jokes as a young cat. I'm 37 now. I started about almost 15 years ago. Elroy taking me under his wing, let me do some jokes here and there for the radio stations and all that kind of stuff.
We are more than that. We are more than that. We're greater than that. And I feel like in places like this, or Chicago, or whatever you want to call it, the hood, whatever you want to call it, like, it's too much attention dwelled on the negative.
I learned that no matter what you do and how much of a genuine heart you have, and if you're coming from a good place, people are going to criticize if they don't agree with what you're doing.
Hi, we're from Empire, and you're watching the Higher Learning Network.
So how long have you been standing here?
Not too long, like an hour. So we're moving in fast. This is a good sign.
Yo, what's up? It's your man, Tony Schofield from 106.3 Chicago's R&B, and you are watching Men on Higher Learning. Now, I used to hang around with some men that was into some higher learning. It just wasn't that kind of higher learning, but I got myself together now, okay?
What is it that you do in your quiet time, in your meditation time, that allows you to bring us the films that you do?
I sit courtside in Madison Square Garden, world's most famous arena.
And great actors. We all
Latifah, and you're watching CTV on the Higher Learning Network. Yeah, bye.
Is that you ain't got to be all the way up here at the top. Like every artist that have music, they want to go to radio. Bam, I ain't knocking you down. Let me see if you know that. But there's internet radio stations. This is what y'all have to understand. Internet radio stations is of the world, and it's not governed. It is not governed. I also have a internet radio stuff, myself and my son, B100 Radio. And we're in countries. So y'all have to understand, there's some big artists that live here. They might don't perform here, but they're on that plane going overseas performing, and that money looks just as good. Stop listening to people talk about, oh, they ain't nobody no more, so that's why they're going over there. No, there's a lot of people that's getting that guap, and I'm so happy you think that, so now I ain't got to worry about you coming to try to rob me, all right? But pay attention that you can't go on her station because they're governed by different things. But there is internet stations. Go into those stations and get your music played up inside of those places. Your music's going to be heard still. There's people listening. There's more people on the internet listening to radio than listening to them. Because y'all got to understand, where the numbers coming from now? They ain't coming from the radio station. Go to the internet. Stop trying to get up there. Reverend Jackson, how are you? I'm so sorry.
So to answer that question, here's the advice, here's the takeaway I want for everybody is, well, first we're going to hear from my uncle, Reverend Jackson.
Repeat, say I am.
I am.
On your feet like you mean on your feet. Say I am.
I am.
Somebody. I am.
I am.
Somebody. My mind. Is a pearl.
It's a pearl.
I can do anything.
I can do anything.
In the world.
In the world.
My mind.
My mind.
Can conceive it.
Can conceive it.
My heart.
My heart.
Can believe it.
Can believe it.
I know.
I know.
I can achieve it.
I can achieve
Not
it.
my aptitude.
Not my altitude.
My attitude.
My attitude.
Determines my altitude.
My altitude.
How high.
How high.
I rise.
I rise.
I rise higher.
I rise higher.
Higher.
And higher.
Stop the violence.
Stop the violence.
Save the children.
Save the
Stop
children.
the violence.
Stop the violence.
Save the children.
Save the children.
Keep hope. Alive. Never surrender.
Never surrender.
Keep hope.
Keep hope.
Alive.
Alive.
Never give up.
Never give up.
Keep hope.
Keep hope.
Alive.
Alive.
Keep hope.
Keep hope.
Alive.
Alive.
And then you scream. I want you to, I'm trying to operate between, I don't mean to disrespect your rhythm here. There's another meeting upstairs of athletics. And the young people up there say, hey, Ms. Maya. The last few days on television has been different athletes changing teams, getting $100 million contracts and all that. Jack Robinson broke into baseball, white baseball in 1947. There were three. There was a white league called Major, Black League, and Latin American League. When Jackie broke in to the white called Major Leagues, opened that door for others. Really, they were equal leagues because the blacks who joined the major leagues, they didn't start as apprentices. They came in as starters. They came in as all-stars. But why did the Dodgers stay together as a team for 10 years? Because the boys were something. See, in those days, when you sign up, the owner of the team owns you. You couldn't leave. You couldn't negotiate. The owner owned you. All the hoopla was done by Jackie. Jackie made $42,000. You couldn't bargain and go to another team. Kurt Flood was an all-star center fielder for the St. Louis Cardinals. They said they were going to sell him to New York. He said, "You can't. I'm not asleep. You can't sell me." He wanted to stay in St. Louis. When the Supreme Court on the 13th of November, he argued the case. I have a right to make choices. He won that case. Said because Kurt Flood won the case of freedom of choice. It broke up. Plantation control of owners. So every player that get multi-million-dollar contracts is because you're free to negotiate. You negotiate that on your market right. There's another rule: you couldn't play pro until your college class graduated. Will Chamberlain, one of the great ball players of all time, Will Chamberlain left Kansas after a couple of years. He couldn't join the NBA. He had to go to the Globe Trotters and play tricky ball for a little while. He couldn't go there because his class ain't graduated his class. Spencer Haywood, basketball player, resisted the idea that you cannot play because your class has graduated. You can play whenever you can play. So it's the idea, play when you can play, according to your ability. Because sacrifice. Don't say it. Especially in that one that said Kobe couldn't have left high school and gone to the pros. He couldn't play till his college class graduated. Players would go to Kentucky and one and done. All that's made possible. And what concerns me is for that to be a part of our legacy, and us to be ignorant. So we should not be ignorant. Of our own legacy. We should not be ignorant of our power. We use our power. Sacrifice. Discipline. There's no gain. We cannot win. Isaiah Thomas was about to buy the Toronto Raptors. That is like a thought. Who wants to play in Toronto? It's cold, different language and all that. So it was 17 for $100 million. He raised $100 million. Yeah, I said, look, I said, you should be grateful. You'd be the first black on the team. $120 million. He raised the ante. And Isaiah wouldn't take it. And that's how the Toronto got the team. Most of the guys who played for Toronto were like the champions this year. Throwaway guys, fundamentally. Now, when you who are into hip hop and music put our story to music and can articulate it, it's one thing to rap. I should rap with information and content that makes sense.
Come on,
one time. One time I asked, you've always heard that when Jesse Owens ran the big race, Hitler wouldn't shake his hand, that he's a racist, right? You see, you picture Hitler getting up and walking out the stadium. I said, Mr. Owens, why did you get upset when Hitler didn't shake your hand? He said, I came and said, Roosevelt wouldn't shake my hand either. We had half the story. Say Hitler wouldn't shake Jesse Owens' hand. Berlin, Roosevelt wouldn't shake his hand. In Washington. Racism on both sides of the water. You've heard it said, Lincoln freed the slave, right? So Lincoln freed us. Lincoln freed us. And we saved Lincoln. The South has got as far north as Maryland and Gettysburg, Pennsylvania, with the headquarters from Montgomery to Richmond. The South was going to win the war. And when Lincoln freed us, 200,000 blacks joined the Union Army. We beat the South back. So we saved Lincoln. And the Union, he freed us. The deal, when Lincoln was killed, the deal was broken. It's just a lot of fun to be fooled.
A lot of fun.
A lot of fun to be fooled. A lot of fun to be fooled. A lot more fun to know. I said one more and let y'all keep on talking about. I was looking at television last week. Actually, they had a Memorial Day. Pence gave a speech. He's looking all solemn, sad, and the white people climbing up the Omaha Hill getting shot, and America beat the Germans, and France got the right to vote. That's not when Memorial Day started. When the South was defeated in Charleston, South Carolina, they turned over their submission to the 21st Infantry back to black soldiers. They had taken Union soldiers, whites who came south, put them on the racetrack and let them rot to death. You could smell the stench. They let them die from disease. That's their way of showing contempt for whites coming south from getting slavery. They buried them in a mass grave behind the racetrack. Freed blacks unearthed the graveyard, give them individual graves with dignity. 10,000 blacks marched around that racetrack, led by 3,000 children singing John Brown's Bottom of them over the grave, and preachers were praying and singing scripture. That's the first Memorial Day. So it's our people memorialized in slavery, and honored, which will die with us, for us, our liberation. I guess my real point about the music part, so when music really makes sense, it's a liberating force. It doesn't make force, it's a liberating force. I remember when Dr. King first went against the Vietnam War, they ate him alive. Civil rights leaders attacked him publicly. You getting off the agenda talking about the war. Dr. King was the budget for the war on poverty was the war in Vietnam. And so it didn't make sense to him. It was unfair. And so they continued that scheme. And Dr. King, a lot of churches closed doors on Dr. King's face. He was booed, couldn't speak in other places. Marvin Gaye did What's Going On. We came and hit the record, the whole thing. Say music, talking about the war. They couldn't resist what's going on. That gave meaning. Steve Wonder did a song at that time called Blowing in the Wind. The Bob Dylan song, right? And it gave meaning to the season. Last one along that line is John Conyers. Every January 15th, Dr. King's birthday, would have but Twitter was a meeting in front of Washington Monument. It's a King holiday. It didn't make sense if it was morally right. The King died very hated. When the King died, he was 52% in the negative among blacks and 72% in the negative among whites. When he was killed, and the day after he was killed, everybody loved Martin Luther King. It wasn't true while he was living. He hit in the head with bricks. Watch this now. When this thing went down, it'd be cold, January 15th, marching, talking about Bishop coming. Stevie Wonder picked it up. What's that song? What's the song? Talk to me, man. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday.
Another point, when Stevie put the song to music, it became a cultural phenomenon. In Seattle, Miami, Mississippi, Maine. When music makes sense, it's liberating for us.
Yes.
Music does not make sense. It's degrading.
It's degrading.
Certain artists, I call his name, do records, call him bitches and hoes and all that. dancing the bitch, dancing the whole all that. He got married. His wife had a little girl. So you can stop calling girls bitches. Well, you should stop. Well, other people's daughters had. Other people had daughters. So it never was right. Never was right.
Never was right.
First I went as bitches and hoes in the name of that's what's happening. So music must be above street culture. It must transform street culture, not recycle it.
Not recycle it.
Must transform.
Must transform. Street culture.
Not recycle.
Not recycle.
See, education matters. Strong minds bring strong change. Soul matters. With science and soul. Science and soul. Be that balance. Take it further. Reverend Jackson is a original rap.
Thank you, Reverend Jackson.
Pray in all of our ways, acknowledge God, who will direct our path. We have real power, the power to love each other, for the power of ourselves, for the power to kill each other, for the power to resist drugs, for the power to choose to make a decision for short-term pleasure and long-term pain. Nobody will save us, from us, for us. We have power. We have real power. We have the power to love ourselves and our neighbors. The neighbors, the power to save our children. If I asked some students out there, Flocka, I say, if you were in school and someone had drugs, would you tell it? Would you? Would you tell it? Talk to me. Shh. Would you tell it? Okay. If somebody in your school had a shh, had a Ku Klux Klan robe in their locker, would you tell it? Yeah. Oh. See, we lose more lives from dope than the rope. By living the heart, the city, the Klan, it's no threat to me. Meth is. The fact you trip out over a freak and a sheet in the hood, which is nothing but he can't harm you, and you're going to say drugs kill the mind, drugs kill the brain cells, drugs kill. With drugs, we do things we didn't mean to do. We wake up in jail, wake up in hell. Therefore, y'all get my point? Y'all, how many of y'all can you push that morning at 8:30? 15:30. We'll have a strong youth choir. We'll begin to produce our own music. Sound nice. Maya is a gifted young lady. Look like and the rest of you. Maya, where you going to school? Now, because her mother, she was first saying that Maggie thing for years. Who's going to do? But she went back to school of music. 30, right quick.
Got 1,000 points, 1,000 rebounds, D1.
watching the Higher Learning Network.
Hi, I'm Christina Grodick with European American Association. I am the Community Relations Manager. And just in regards to the meditation that we did after the Philanthropy Club meeting, it was great because it gave me such a feeling of relief, and the softness of Zelda's voice made me slow down and take pace at what I was doing. Kind of made me concentrate on my breathing. So it was just such an asset to have that portion of our meeting. I don't think you get that quite at every meeting. It was just such an asset.
God bless you.
Is Monday morning a struggle to get out of bed into the swing of things? Well, don't worry, you are not alone. Join us for thought-provoking, stimulating, and mindful conversations on higher learning with Zelda Speaks for your Monday morning mindfulness session on Blog Talk Radio, The Female Solution, Mondays, 7:30 until 9 a.m. Be sure and send your ideas, thoughts, comments, and suggestions. Experience mindfulness moments with the mindfulness/stress relief coach, Zelda Speaks. And thanks for sharing the mindfulness moment tip of the day. Stay on purpose, stay empowered, and stay tuned to your next session of mindfulness on Higher Learning with Zelda Speaks. Make it a mindful day. And thanks for listening.
Hi, my name is Julie Myresta. I'm with the American Heart Association, and we have been up to our ears in sweetened beverage tax, so I so much appreciated the 5-minute meditation today that allowed me to get back to my center, take a few deep breaths, and really focus on what's important.
Shalom and good God morning. And thank you for joining me today on blogtalkradio.com, The Female Solution. It's your Monday morning mindfulness with Zelda Speaks. Mindfulness stress release coach. I'm just here to make your day better.